If Trump succeeds in forcing through mass deportations, combined with Elon hacking away at the government, firing people and reducing the deficit, there will be an initial severe overreaction in the economy. This economy propped up with debt and artificially suppressed wages as a result of illegal immigration, markets will tumble. But when the storm passes and everyone realizes we are on sounder footing, there will be a rapid recovery to a healthier, sustainable economy. History could be made in the coming 2 years. From Elon Musk. Sounds about right. I think it was from Elon. There was a post a little while ago, a few weeks ago. I think it was from Elon, and he said that we should be expecting a couple of tough years if Trump wins. If anyone can find what I'm referring to or what I'm referencing, what I'm remembering, this is an admission from one of the close confidants of the Trump campaign, essentially admitting that they know they're going to crash the economy. This is insane. Now, we know that if they go through with the policies that they claim they want to do, it will crash the economy. We're aware of that. But do you have any idea how grim things must be? On the back end, them to admit it? Again, there's another thing here as well. There's another post that was made to this effect. But like, to bust out an old classic, this is the same thing that happened in Nazi Germany. There was a lot of talk about how we will have to weather difficult times when Hitler is made Führer, because there's like an initial bump you have to get over. And the bump they're referring to is like effectively the destruction of the country in favor of, in Germany's case, a wartime military, like a wartime economy. And in our case, I don't even know. I don't even think we're gunning up for like a wartime economy. I think it's more just like, yeah, actually, after we deport 20 million people, things will suddenly get better, The meme economy, yeah, Bitcoin will go to the moon. Dogecoin will bump. This is the same shock therapy that Milei sold to Argentina. Yeah, and how's it working out for them? They're suffering massively. The poverty is skyrocketed. Their economy is in the trash. It's not good, folks. Article about the first time. Oh, there we go. It was Musk. Musk says Trump would would result in hardship for some Americans if he won. The world's richest man promising big spending cuts if Trump gave him a job, says people taking advantage of government are going to be upset. He means basically if you rely on welfare or government programs at all, you're going to be... Rolling Stone. It's all he is. Poor people. I mean, yeah, obviously. You remember when Elon had that interview with, I think it was New York Times, where he had a patch on his neck of unshaved beard hair. Do you remember this? And I made a big deal about it. And the reason I made a big deal about it is because before you go on air in a massive interview that's going to be seen by tens of millions of people, they have makeup artists and lighting people and sound people and so on and so forth. All of them attending to you, Like, you get looked over by a lot of people. It's not just like you're going live on a YouTube stream where you just click the button on OBS. Like, a lot of people look over you. And in order for him to have a patch of unshaved beard, he would have had to manually shoo those people away because they would have noticed it and they would have made note of it. And Elon's very self-conscious about how he appears in public. I don't think he would have let that go. He would have been like, oh no, actually, I like it. I like looking like a weirdo, having like a patch of unshaved beard on a massive interview, on the New York Times. It's a big deal. It indicates like a massive breakdown on the back end. It's like a little thing, but then when you look at it and you think about everything that would have had to go wrong for it to have happened, counterpoint, it's because he was likely high at the time. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Lots of people would have had to attend to him. It's not about him being high. Of course he was high. It's about the level of how disheveled and how disagreeable you'd have to be to shoo away everyone looking over you before a big appearance like that. It's like a little crack, a little hairline fracture on a dam. It's crazy. Anyway, that's what I feel about this. Elon Musk has been several times over, he's been saying stuff to the effect of like, listen, if Donald Trump wins, there's going to be an economic crash. Don't worry, it'll get better on the other side. I'm sure. But there will be like hard times for many. Now, Elon is stupid. And we know that he likes to repeat stuff that he's told. In fact, it was only like a week ago that it was found out he's been extensively communicating with Vladimir Putin and that he definitely, absolutely did the thing that I accused him of doing, which was meeting with Putin back in 2022 and then regurgitating Russian Kremlin propaganda points on Twitter, where he called like Ukraine's independence Khrushchev's mistake and talked about Russia needing like a warm water port in Crimea, you know? So if Musk repeats things that he's heard, and he's not very creative, this to me indicates that on the back end, people in the Trump camp are openly talking about how they know they're going to cause an economic crash. Elon is just the only one stupid enough to signal it ahead of an election. He is very stupid. 1 week out from an election, and he's agreeing with a post that says, we might see a tumbling market. The economy might collapse if he does the things that he says he wants to do. Are you insane? Why would you ever admit to that? Even if you were like completely aware of every step of the plan, even if you were fully aware of how it was going to play out, even if you were somehow correct in your assumption that things would get better on the other side. You're not, but even if you were, why would you ever admit to this? Well, I think it's because he's doing the same thing he did when he communicated with Vladimir Putin. I think he's just repeating stuff he hears in the back end. I think that people in the Trump camp are fully aware of the fact that their plans will collapse the country. It's not just an incidental consequence of fascist hysteria. It's not just like a byproduct of another zealous hatred they're trying to achieve. I think they're aware of the fact that they're trying to turn into like gas town vandals, you know? Like Biff Tannen in Back to the Future 2. Like they're aware of the fact that they want to preside over a ruined heap, you know? It's like an Ouroboros, right? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where the people who predict barbarism, who predict the end of things, are the ones most likely to cause it because they destabilize the institutions that keep things afloat. It's not necessarily that they don't want the barbarism and the collapse. They just want to be on top of it when it happens. I don't know. It's pretty rough. Trump has said he does very well when the economy collapses. Business people often do. We're the ones who suffer. Well, I say we kind of euphemistically. Live streamers are one of the, great pillars of the economy. There were some DoD acknowledgments back in 2018 that the US was wargaming the possibility of retreating back to North America and locking down for the climate crisis. This would lead to a global economic collapse, but North America could probably weather the storm and we would be fine on the other end. It would kill billions. A lot of right-wingers like this plan. Yeah, because a lot of right-wingers believe in like an objectivist, zero-sum game political analysis, right? They like that version of geopolitics where the race war is already happening. We're just on the back foot because of wokeness, The great civilizational collapse is already happening. We're just on the back foot because of wokeness. They think the battle is unavoidable. They just want to be the winners in the battle. I feel like we need a link for a claim like that. For the wargaming civilizational collapse stuff, no, that's not a secret. I remember it as well. Yeah. The Pentagon war games a lot of stuff, to be fair. It's not necessarily indicative of their interest in doing it. The Pentagon is war gamed invading Canada. It's more that idea resonates with a lot of right-wing talking points about civilizational collapse, and they fantasize about it. Guys, right-wingers love to fantasize about the collapse. They love that shit. Literally, there are people in prepper bunkers all around the country who have been stockpiling arms, food, and ammunition, fantasizing about gunning down black and brown people should the day come, should the collapse happen. It's the storm from QAnon. It's the day of the rope for Ku Klux Klanners and white nationalists. There are versions of this held by basically every subgroup of the right. They all liberals don't. This is one of the clearest distinctions. Liberals don't fantasize about the collapse at all. In fact, liberals go too far in the opposite direction. They often don't think it can even happen. They don't even consider it. But then you take a look at the Republicans, they all have their own version of getting ready for it. It's the same kind of doomsday rapture fantasy fantasizing that you get from the evangelical groups, where they act as though, they live as though the world could end at any time. And they look forward to it, because in the rapture, the good Christians get shepherded off to heaven, of course. Anyway, same basic thing. Don't tankies do this too? Treat the revolution as a kind of opportunity to take advantage of civilizational collapse so my ideology can rise from the ashes? Yes. A lot of radical ideologies do this. The difference is that tankies have no political power and are losers. And Elon Musk is the wealthiest man in the world, and he's currently the main guy fielding the administration of a presidential campaign that has a 50% chance of winning. I say 50%, of course, because only one of two things can happen, Kamala or Trump. 50-50, it happens or it doesn't. That's how math works. So it's Far Cry 5 all over again. Me, when my entire understanding of the world is framed through my juvenile media consumption. Never forget, in Far Cry 5, even though the group you're up against is obviously a racist, far-right, like nutjob evangelical cult, they pussied out and made them non-racist. It's like a racially diverse, rural, crazy nuclear pro-Americana doomsday evangelical cult. It's like the cult has gone woke. It's crazy. And they made them right? Yeah, well, yeah, because the people, like, the Far Cry series isn't about anything. In rural Montana, I love my woke, multiracial, rural Montana, apocalypse cults that aren't racist in Montana. Anyway, does everyone understand the point that I'm getting at here? I personally, I'll admit it, like, I'm not just doing it for the bit or for the content or whatever. I think it's quite terrifying. The idea that one of the, like, leading voices and strongest forces in this campaign, who stupidly repeats stuff that he hears from the inside all the time, is signaling not only an acknowledgement of economic collapse, but like an endorsement of it, because it's supposed to lead to something greater. It's basically like an apocalypse mandate coming from people on the top, not from people on the bottom. You know, there's a huge difference between people on Twitter called like Mao's strongest soldier underscore, 1917 or whatever, talking about how they want civilization to collapse so their ideology can rise from the ashes, and Elon Musk, who, as you might recall, no, not that, is building his own little doomsday prepper bunker. This one. Elon Musk wants a big family. He bought a secret compound for his in Texas. Also, his daughter called him a Nazi on Threads recently, so that's cool.